The Spin-off Podcast Network.
This is Kiwi is back for a brand new season with more inspiring kōrero from special guests including rugby player, father and role model TJ Perenara.
My family bring me joy. Rugby brings me joy too, but it's not the same joy as my family brings me.
And global dancer and choreographer Kirsten Dodgen.
For some reason, people think I'm very intimidating.
Listen to the new season of This is Kiwi, brought to you by the Spin-off Podcast Network in collaboration with KiwiBank. Available now wherever you get your podcasts.
Kia ora, I'm Duncan Grieve, founder of The Spin-off. You can help us keep all of The Spin-off's award-winning journalism free for everybody by becoming a member today at thespinoff.co.nz/donate.
Okay, I love lockdown pod. Yay! Is that what we're feeling?
That's the intro.
Lockdown.
You just did it.
Level 4, 4 more years.
I want to go to level 5.
Kia ora, welcome to the Real Pod. It's a new kind of Real Pod and same old Jane, Alex and Duncan. Welcome along to it.
Even samer and older, I reckon.
I know, it's crazy. This is a very exciting new refresh for us. Hello, Duncan. Hello, Alex. How are you doing?
Hi, Jane.
You can't nod, Duncan. You can't just nod on podcasts.
I'm just going to do a lot of non-verbal communication. I'm good. I'm better than Alex, but we're gonna get you out of your funk, Alex.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm fine. I haven't washed my hair in a while. I don't know if you can tell. Someone could tell on the live
beautiful.
the other day. I'm just kind of going to keep it in a ponytail. And one day I'm going to take the hair tie out and the hair is going to stay in a ponytail. Basically.
Or it's just gonna fall off like a lamb's tail.
Yeah. Dig yourself. Dig yourself 2021.
It's a lockdown haircut hack.
Oh, we're already back.
We are back.
Amazing.
So I'm going to tell you how things are going to go. There's been a bit of a format change. So Celebrity Treasure Island is here and we are going to be recapping that in its standalone podcast called The Real Recap, which will be coming out straight after the show has aired tomorrow night if you're listening to this on a Tuesday. So not long between drinks. And other things of note, so you might be wondering, well, what's happening with this episode then? Well, we've got 3 segments. We've got Real News, which is the real news you know and love. Real Life, which is just having some yarns about our life. In a kind of narcissistic way, I guess. And then Real Bits, which are some of the best bits that have been on the telly in the last week. So that's what's happening. In other housekeeping, huge announcement. Cornies, there is some Real Pod /Corny specific merch now available in the Spin-off shop.
Even I didn't know this.
The Corny Pin's live, Duncan. It's up and it's running.
I'm getting on the internet. See you guys later.
I didn't get
Pre-orders
this memo
are open.
either. This is breaking
It's a beautiful enamel pin designed by Corny extraordinaire Julia Howard. This is her wheelhouse. She designs pins. She's designed us one. She came to us with a concept months ago. We've got the wheels turning, got a manufacturer sorted. We're taking pre-orders now. $15.
Oh.
You might not get it for a while just because of, COVID and stuff.
Oh, it's just so hard to get a shipping container these days for all of our Real Pod enamel pins.
But there you go. We're taking pre-orders now, and it's also got a great backing card, which is designed by our very own Toby Morris. So the card you can display on your bedroom wall, and the pin you can wear proudly, and you can see other cornies out in the wild, and it's just fantastic. So the spinoff.co.nz/shop to get your pre-order in now. Something else, there's a bingo game for Celebrity Treasure Island that you need to download and play along with. You'll find that on the Spin-off Instagram and also the Spin-off Podcast Network. And you can join the corner for chats and bants, facebook.com/realpodcorner. Thank you to the Cornies for the quiz, by the way. That was amazing. There was a Corny quiz on the weekend.
I want to know everything
terrific.
about that. I couldn't attend, and I feel like I lost some of my sparkle because
I
of
learned
it.
so much. Ollie Chick's geography round was a real head scratcher.
I tell you what, he was brutal on the scoring. Like, everyone was like firing off points left, right and centre. Yeah, you get half a point for that. Yeah, you get a point for that. He had one there where like you had to name all the regions in your choice of either the North or South Island, and if you got even one wrong, no points.
I love
0
that.
points.
I love that.
It was great.
It was
There's a lot
very
of highlight.
sweet. It was very fun. It was lovely to see all the familiar corn faces in Zoom. Iconic
It
afternoon.
was. And you know what? Zooms are awkward AF, and it was one of the least awkward Zooms I've ever been on. Mm-hmm. Even though I didn't know in person most of the people on there, it felt like we were all old mates. It was lovely. Okay, let's have some real news. So that's the old sting that you know and love. I do want to let you know there are 2 new stings in today's show that are going to be happening later. So that's the first bit of real news.
Wow. Meta.
But did you guys see the penis carrot that popped up on a Zoom last week?
I have not seen the penis
it-
carrot on a Zoom.
Was this Kamal Cipollone? Was that?
Yeah, it's so great. Like, I love serious Zooms that people in the background fuck up for people. And this was Carmen's, so Carmen's a Labour minister. She was interrupted on a Zoom call by her son, who came in with a penis-shaped carrot. It was just brandishing it.
The way that he holds it up and he is just beaming.
It's such a great find for a young man. Or actually, honestly, they're hilarious. Look, they're a hilarious appendage for all ages. You know, it's not a dignified part of the human body. And if you can find a carrot that looks like that, get it on your mum's Zoom.
Also, Duncan, I feel like you have your own personal connection to rude fruit and veg, right?
I do have New Zealand's greatest collection of lemons that look like. I can't even.
Other things.
They look
It's
like.
just a body part. It's just a body part.
Yeah. And
It's biology. Oh, you can't say it. Okay.
I know I can say it. It's the one looks like a vagina and one looks like a butt. I've yet to get a lemon that looks like a peen, but if you're listening and you're holding, so to speak, hit me up, because I think I'm very close to a sort of a real pod frozen museum.
Complete the
Undervisited.
set.
Yeah.
If you've got a peony lemon, get in touch with Duncan Grieve immediately. I see you're wearing yellow today in honour of your collection too.
I am. Never forget. Except that I do until I move house. And then I'm reminded of my embarrassing past.
But you still pick them up and take them with
Oh,
you,
you got to. They've been they're older than my kids.
Are they bagged together? Or do they roll around?
They're in like a little
Okay.
Glad Ziploc, and they just like in real life, they cohabitate.
Great. Hey, Mike Pero was actually second choice for CEO of the Apprentice Aotearoa. Did you know that?
Oh, no?
Okay, so Stuff has reported that LA-based NZ entrepreneur Robert Hollis was the preferred candidate, but he had visa issues, so couldn't do it.
Really? I know
Robert
quite well. We actually did a fantastic profile of him.
Robert, not Robert. Robert.
Yeah, it's all right. You also called Carmen earlier. It's been a great morning for you. But yeah,
That's because that's what Tara put in the document, so I'm going to blame that on Tara. Thanks, Tara, for doing research for us, by the way.
Tara?
I blame nothing on Tara. I blame my children for everything, actually, okay? Sorry, no, back to Robert.
So he is like a sort of, he's like a coach. He's not. I think he would have been a really interesting, but not a conventional choice the way that Mike was. But that's really buzzy to me. We have a very, very good profile of him on the spin-off if you care to read more. But wild.
Do you think Mike Pero feels sad that he was the second choice?
I was just about to ask that. Maybe he didn't know until now. Maybe he found out at the same time we did.
It's gutting, but I do think he's a classic choice. And I feel like Cassie and JT are the kind of left field, kind of kooky, modern business people. And Mike, just classic Classic old wooden mic. You
Also
know, we need someone to be the warm body.
It's also the name recognition of having your name, then your category be your, like, Makeover mortgages and on down the chain of all the other stuff he does. Like, I just reckon there's a real cool audacity to being the kind of business person who's like, my whole name and then the thing that I intend to dominate. And it's very Apprentice energy. So I think that it was the second choice that should have been the first choice the whole time.
The way that you said Makeover mortgages, it's so entrenched, that jingle, that you left the obligatory pause in between Makeover mortgages. There's no other way to say it, right? If you just say Makeover mortgages, that does not sound right at all.
That's not the name, you know? I wouldn't do Makeover mortgages dirty like that.
Have you seen Dr. Lucina, former Bachelorette, doing the Ministry of Health promotional videos?
No.
She's doing a video talking about like what she's up to in lockdown, her mum's doing some weights, and then kind of just presenting a message on behalf of health professionals as she wanders the street in her floral dress and mask. And it's real jarring because I really liked her as Bachelorette for a time, and then I think I got a bit over her by the end, but I don't have the patience for her anymore. Even after all this time, I'm like, I'm done.
What about her mum? Her mum is real
Her mum is great.
cool.
Truly get your mum to do the Ministry of Health video. I think it's a great idea. She was awesome. Get her lifting some weights and being like, in lockdown, I'm lifting weights and I'm staying in my bubble. You know? I've just written the script for a start.
And she had a real chill dad as well. I mean, look, Lucina's fine, but I do remember being particularly charmed by like everyone in her family, and not so much her, like her brother as well.
Was she the warm body of her family?
Maybe.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I'm being nasty. I just want to give... Actually, wait, I'll give context once we get to real life. Okay, people are making faces out of random things during lockdown, and there's one particularly corny reference here. But first of all, there's a lovely Queenstown man who's he stacks firewood, and he's been making faces and objects out of them just to entertain himself in lockdown. Like huge, you know, as you can imagine, big piles of firewood. So, I mean, get creative with what you're doing, right? If you have to do something, if you're going to mow the lawns, mow a penis into the lawn, you know? Do something fun. Keep it interesting for the police helicopters going overhead trying to find people who are breaking lockdown rules.
They can't take that away from us, you know?
No.
The nanny state. Our lawns remain sacred as our sort of giant canvases should we have a lawn. Obviously, Alex has got to be a bit more creative in her apartment.
You probably have to hang it when you're drying your sheets. Cut a penis out, a whole shaped hole in your sheets,
And hold it up.
and hang them off your balcony.
I'm not allowed to do that. Get in trouble with a good. You can't show your washing. You
the
can't
body
show
call.
your washing.
Your
At
shame.
any cost. People cannot know that you wash your clothes or that you have undies. It is private. I did see someone, looks like they added big googly eyes.
Yeah,
Did
that's
I
what
talk
I'm saying.
about when I went up Mount Eden on my birthday and I was blessed with a giant googly eye in the middle of the path?
Well, you sent it to us, but I don't think you've talked about it publicly.
It felt like
it was
a
private
message.
googly eye.
It felt like a message from God. And then, but as I was walking around, I realised someone had just stuck googly eyes on everything. Sorry, joogly.
Sorry, what kind of...
Sorry, joogly. To be clear, joogly eyes. I mean, look, I'm a little slightly worried about the waste and the kind of desecration of a, sacred space. But it did cheer me up to see a single googly eye.
Look, I have to say, you have talked quite a lot about going up the mountain in this podcast of late.
I have.
Just a casual flex of what an athlete you are lately. It's the
Sort of a
new,
Hillary
that I
type.
used to live in LA. But anyway,
I've actually got some mountain news.
That's
of
a new
course you do.
segment.
But anyway,
Should I save it? I'll save it for real. What is it?
Save it
Real
for
something
real
else.
life. But the thing is that those people who know that you are up the mountain all the time might be going up and planting googly eyes just for you. Is that creepy
I
or
would
cool?
love that if someone could write me a message in chalk. I would
Oh,
love
imagine.
that. Or if someone could leave just sort of $5 in a safe with a pin that
And
only
have
I know.
a stone on top that's like, this is Alex's, please don't touch.
Yeah, I think that would be absolutely perfect.
So the googly eyes on giant shrubs with masks on is been done by a New Plymouth woman, which is very cute. It's the new answer to the teddy bear in the window, but perhaps not as easy to execute. Right. Movie Max Timaru lockdown phone message is amazing. I'm just going to play you some audio. So this is someone from Movie Max and Timaru trying to record an answer phone message during lockdown. Here you go.
Hello, and thank you for calling Movie Max Digital Cinemas Timaru. We are currently closed until... Fuck you. Hello, and thank you for calling Movie Max Digital Cinemas Timaru. We are currently closed until level 2. You can see more... Oh, for fuck's sake. Hello, and thank you for calling Movie Max Digital Cinemas Timaru. We are currently closed until we reach level 2. You can check our website for updates on... Oh, fuck me.
And then he gets it right after that. So good though. Just left all of that on the message by accident. Don't bother ringing them. It's been taken down, but thankfully Reddit has it preserved for all of eternity, just for our enjoyment.
That's
So
perfect. I feel like that sums up the national mood right
It
now.
really does. I feel like in lockdown, the first lockdown last year, would have had a script, would have nailed it first time, but this is a whole different lockdown. That's the Delta answer phone message, eh?
Extremely. I also like... I'm curious about who discovered it. Like, who's calling the Timaru movie theatre expecting information that somehow... I feel like you have to be quite deep in the sort of denialist pandemic kind of school to sort of imagine that you might get a piece of this, like, alternate reality game, but by, so some extra information is waiting for you there. But it turns out it was how we all felt.
Maybe someone just was, like, unclear on the rules and thought, I can't go to school, I can't go to the pools, I can't go to the park, but maybe I can still catch a movie. What's on?
Maybe they're releasing a movie again.
Okay, this one comes...
Wait, movies are open in Timaru now, though, right? Or from tonight?
No, I think if you listen to the message, I know it was very distracting with all the swearing, but they're closed until level 2.
But it is level 2 now, so there'll be some of... But back then, when he recorded it...
Yeah.
But what I'm
Level
saying
4,
now is
maybe
I think
level
the Cornies mobilise. Go support Movie Max Timaru if you're in the area.
Yeah, and I reckon take some chockies for whoever it was who recorded that message. Just go, this is for the answer phone message, can I just slide it across the counter? Or some corn is another option. Speaking of corn, actually, I mean, miniature real review, but I got sent some like fancy adults popcorn. Can't even remember what the name of it is, so it's not very helpful, but it's
adults
so
popcorn sounds dirty. Adults anything,
like,
Jane.
It's like adult-only popcorn, and it's really yummy flavours, and it's because you wouldn't want to share it with your children because they eat popcorn by the fistfuls, and it's a very, like, humble amount. And it's packed with flavour, so yum. Can't remember. Bugs and all? Or something? No, that's not right. I can't remember what it's called. Something with
popcorn, bugs and all.
I know.
What kind of bugs, Jane?
Hopefully not crabs.
I always thought that about when you go to like a hot pools and it's like adults only spa, and you're like, what is happening in there?
Yeah, it's just
heinous. Okay, you need to listen. Need to listen to the Why Weirdo Hot Pools episode of Remember When for further discussion on that.
Basically, if there's anywhere that's adults only or anything that's just for adults, it's just inherently disgusting. It shouldn't be.
Finally, our final piece of news, which is sourced from the Real Pod Corner, comes from a Facebook community post or a marketplace post where someone wanted to post egg cartons for sale, but Facebook wouldn't let them, and so they renamed the egg cartons, and the ad was allowed to go up, and they renamed them to butt nugget holders. So Facebook's
adults only.
It's extremely adults only.
That's like R50.
Okay.
That's too much, even for my sensibilities.
Butt nugget
It's actually
holders.
more like under 12s. Butt nugget holders. It's almost like that's the kind of thing that children would find very funny. And us, to be fair.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. Let's go into real life.
Butt nuggets. My God. Te Ai here. Is that you?
Is that all you?
Yeah, I made that.
Well, he can't burst his bloody bubble, can he? So he's had to do it. He's had to do multi vocal takes. Amazing. Thank you, Te Ai here, for making this podcast better.
My pleasure.
So much.
Like Michael Bublé.
I want to see a sound clash, like a versus. That's Te Ai here versus Paul Williams, just doing really short real pod songs.
Oh, man. That could get ugly.
I don't want to get too big for my britches. That sounds too much for me.
If you don't want to get too big for your britches, do not go in the real pod corner, Te Ai here, because everyone in there is in love with you. It's almost an HR issue. I want to mention that I did offer my singing services to Te Ai here for the new stains and did not get the call up.
Just keep plugging away, Jane. You're still young. There's still hope.
There can be 100 people in a room, Jane, and all you need is one. There's not,
Now
because
listen.
you're in level 4.
This is real life, and I surprisingly, lockdown level 4 in Auckland, not much to report here. I've been on exactly 1 5-minute walk to the petrol station again since last week. And that's it.
I love your
how's-
commitment to doing honestly nothing, Jane. It's like
Thank you.
fierce, proud, like in the face of all of the social pressure to go for a silly little walk. You're like, no, I will not.
That's what they want me to do.
I'll tell you what, kids don't like walking. It's not something that they like to do for fun. I mean, we'll get onto some more walking stuff once we get into real bits, because Jason Gunn did a whole thing on walking for the project, which was rather entertaining. But my kids, indoor kids, very much indoor children. Bar one. I've got one who I can't exercise him because I can't take him out and leave the other two home alone, because apparently it's illegal. And so I've got this one kid just bouncing off the walls, and the other two who are like basically growing fungus.
Can you put a kid on a treadmill, or is that like bad vibe?
No, I reckon. I just don't have one.
Like a little hamster wheel type thing?
I really hate, and I mean this sincerely, not in the colloquial use of the word, but I really hate people who've got kids in our sort of kids' age bracket, Jane, who like going for walks. Like I heard the other day that someone saw Toby Manhire out with his children doing a scavenger hunt, and just all of them really happy on like a sunny Saturday instead of indoors with the curtains closed on devices like they're meant to. And it's just like, oh, could you not just go and do it privately, like not in front of... I don't want to hear about that. Like that's not...
No, just walk circles in your backyard. Don't show off.
Michael Wilson stuff, you know, he had it right.
I have a friend whose kids are so active, and she's constantly posting the amazing activities she gets up to with them. Oh. And friends no more, basically.
Yeah.
Just can't deal. It's that kind of influencer thing that we've had for that us women have been suffering through for years and years, where we've watched other mums or other young like athletic going to do the F45.
Toby Manhire.
Like, oh, we suck. Everything about us sucks compared to these people. And now there's this whole like family situation going on where the whole nation is drawn in. Your eyes just rolled right into the back of your head, Duncan. So good. Children, don't take your children for walks and show off, because it makes me feel like a bad parent, and I'm carrying so much lockdown.
Or do it like really late at night when people can't see you doing it, you know? At least have some respect.
Anyway, that's my life. Basically, I'm a husk.
Oh, dear. Well, hey, I've got some news from the mountain, child-free news from the mountain.
Oh my God,
Someone was up there the other day. I haven't had any more celebrity sightings, although I have on very good authority that Celebrity Treasure Island's Lance Savali walks up the mountain every single morning. It's in a great profile that Chris Schultz wrote for the spin-off. So I'm going to endeavour to get up earlier and not stalk, but, definitely look out with my eyes. But the other day did go up and just waiting at the top, just a guy who had robed up for the real pod, I assume, just wearing his robe, staring out across the city. It was very beautiful, like a long kind of black fleecy dressing gown.
That's we're going viral.
I think we're going viral. It's really catching on. He was just enjoying the sights and then moseyed on home. I love it. I love it. People are getting loose out there. I'm seeing pajamas.
Yeah.
I'm seeing pajamas. I'm seeing robes, and I'm all for it.
I am in my pajamas, can I just say. Secondly, there's a very fine line between having some fun with it and completely lost the plot, Which side do you think this guy sat on?
I think he was having fun with it.
Okay.
I don't think he had lost the plot because he was just taking in the sights, and I think he just
You
went
wait
for
till next week. I think you're going to see some people up there. You're going to see some people up there, like, naked with, like, black paint, kind of, like, streaks on their face as if they're going out to war and, like, brandishing sticks and so on. I think we're just going to go all Lord of the Flies.
That's an escalation. It's also a very Celebrity Treasure Island aesthetic, apart from the full nudity.
Well,
for now.
Early days. And in fact, we'll get to that. We'll get to that in the next episode. But Duncan, tell me, how's your life?
Oh, it's pretty bad. My cat died.
Oh, no, I just laughed. I'm so sorry. I didn't. You said it was pretty bad, and then I laughed, and then you said about the cat, and oh, my God, I'm the worst.
No, I take that as your sincere feelings on this issue. No, it's been really sad. So cat was with us 15 years. I know it's a very unreal pod, but that basically has dominated the Gree whānau's feelings over the last little while. But the kids are starting to come out of the funk, and I think it's going to be okay. Just a lovely cat, lovely,
sorry.
really strange cat, and never be another one like Leo Fuzzy Cakes Grieve.
Aww. He was an icon. I loved the way Leo would curl up in a bag if you put it on the floor.
Yeah.
And maybe pee, but most of the time not.
That's the thing. He showed his affection. He never wanted to get too close to a human apart from Robin, my 12-year-old daughter. But he liked to get close to something that's been close to a human. So ideally a bag or a T-shirt or a jumper. And as you say, Alex, he went through phases where he really showed that affection through the medium of urine, which was a nice treat for various family members.
I like the kind of him knowing his boundaries and having healthy boundaries of being like, I don't want to be close to you, but I'll piss in your bag.
Yeah, it's also good because I don't know. I'm reasonably I'm a reasonably tidy Kiwi around the house. I like to have things in their place, and sometimes guests will just put their things down on the floor, and I sort of feel like that was a silent rebellion by Leo to sort of enforce our kind of house norms around where you put your bag. So, yeah, well, I guess I'll have to take up that position now.
Okay, yeah.
Little baggie of urine. Little baggie of urine just ready to go.
Well, that's
at
one
any
way.
Point. Freshie.
Oh my God.
What's that over there?
It really took a turn. Okay, I mean, I'm assuming that as we come out of lockdown, this segment of real life will get a little bit more dynamic. It'll be perhaps a little bit less about us just talking about being in lockdown, with any luck.
Less deathy?
Yeah, maybe less deathy. Who knows?
Hopefully.
Let's wait and see. But do just cut us some slack. It's our first time in the new format, and I completely actually forgot about the little section of the podcast called Real Life. But that's okay. That's okay. It's fine. It's very real pod. It's extremely real pod. We can take a really, really quick break, have a stretch, eat some cereal straight from the packet, and we will be back with Real Bits in just a moment.
Kia ora koutou katoa. Te Aihe Butler here, podcast manager at The Spinoff. As we find ourselves navigating a new outbreak and lockdown, everyone here at The Spinoff remains committed to bringing you quality independent journalism, which, of course, includes our coverage of COVID-19. It's not an exaggeration to say we couldn't do this work without the generous support of our members. So, if you'd like to help us keep Aotearoa informed, please visit thespinoff.co.nz/members for more details and to donate today.
Welcome back. That's what news presenters say. I know, I'm sorry. Some things never change. I just still don't really know what I'm doing.
No, you've still got the Channel Z in you, is what it is.
Yeah, that's it. God, it's old and stale though. There's another nice little news sting. Do we like that? I mean, Te Aihe's listening, so don't say that you don't. Another news sting to bring us into real bits. So this is where we just talk about some bits of telly that you might have seen or you might not have seen, you might want to revisit. For example, the breakfast presenters, they've lost the plot. They've definitely crossed from having a bit of fun into completely lost the plot. They're having to present their own weather and so on, and it's kind of taken off virally, right? Like, they're having to do what? Who normally does the weather? Manny McLean?
Yeah,
When
I think so.
lockdown started, he couldn't do the weather, and so they were having to do it. Like John Campbell was having to do it, and like using a broom as a pointer, and just like completely cocking up the screen, and it was all very, very funny. And now
It's like
kind of
me when I
become a
have to do
thing.
live updates.
You're like him mashing the return button
Just
with
writing
a
something's
broom.
wrong.
Ate an egg. Very private. I love to see like your live updates just be about what you get up to during your day, Alex.
Oh my God, no one wants to see that.
It feels like a kind of like a recurring stress stream or something.
What, my life?
No, you sort of realizing that that's what you're doing with live updates, but being powerless to stop it.
I think I've had almost that specific one in the past 2 weeks. But yeah, I'm very inspired. I actually came across these TikTok dances on my own. I have jumped back on TikTok and I'm bloody loving it.
This is what so they've gone from the crazy weather reports to now just being like internet sensations with doing jazzy new TikTok dances on every show.
And they've got moves. Like I find it very captivating. I really, I think they could have another, a spin-off show or just second career. I guess Dancing with the Stars is kind of lurking around still, maybe for some of them.
Wrong network though, eh? And Dancing with the Stars has been pushed a month.
Dancing with the Stars not going to happen. That's breaking news.
Duncan's prediction.
It's just you have to be real close to a person, and there's just no margin for error with an October 18th date. You know what I mean? Sorry, just folded it.
No, that's okay. I mean, it folds in nicely to the real pod. We will not be live recapping. We will not be recapping Dancing with the Stars this year. So it's part of the new format. Don't do sad face. We had meetings. We all agreed on how it's going to go. No. We're committing to Treasure Island. We're committing. It doesn't mean you can't watch it.
I just think just because it's over doesn't mean it's really over, you know?
Yeah. Wonderful.
My mantra.
Underrated song as well, by the way.
Look, the Katy Perry pod is coming at some point.
Okay, so I mentioned earlier that Jason Gunn did a piece on the project about going for stupid little walks. He thinks walks are boring, repetitive and tedious, so he's found a way to like jazz things up a bit with the family. So I think that's something that you and I can take on board, Duncan. Okay, you ready? Don't roll your eyes. He suggests playing games like looking for car, like a yellow car, a Suzuki Swift, and what he calls a spotty, which is an old black number plate. Quite fun. To get your family to write down random directions take your fourth left, walk 7 minutes in a straight line, do a U-turn, and just have to follow those. Which to me, you could end up out of your region very, very quickly with something like that, couldn't you?
Yeah, I think we should denounce Jason Gunn for that. It's also mainly because it parent shames us.
Yeah, and he also said add some flair to make a catwalk around the block. So, dressing up. This could be your robe guy might have seen the Jason Gunn piece and gone, I'm gonna take his advice and walk up the mountain wearing a robe.
No, it's a corner. He's
None
warming
of
up.
these things, not a single one of these things would work with my children. Absolutely dreaming, Jason. My tip, the only way I can get my children out of the house and off devices is to put them on a device out of the house. So Pokemon Go is the only thing that works for me. And then they fight because it's got the one phone and they fight over it. So
we
not
do.
worth it. And then just don't go out.
Yeah. Our incentive is like lollies and Robux, just Robux at the end, Robux, I can basically buy any kind of a chore with Robux. Like Robux seem to be a lot more powerful than regular currency, even though they are
It really is.
convertible.
I tweet very irregularly, but I posted one in the last couple of days saying how cool it is that I am working to earn money to buy Robux. And Alex, if you're uninitiated, Robux is the currency of Roblox. Roblox being like a phenomenon that all kids are playing.
But then there's also like sub-currencies, like what's it called? Is it Bloxburg? Like, which has its own kind of, like there are just layers to this sort of fake crypto weirdness.
And your children are kind of holding you to ransom.
They
want to be
Robux.
rewarded. Like reward charts are for Robux in my house. And then I had a real bad situation. Okay, this is the fakest of real life that happened to me over this weekend, is that my eldest son got scammed in a game called Adopt Me, where someone took all his legendary pets and didn't give him the shadow dragon that he was after, and he'd been building up those pets for years, well, not years, for a year, and he'd paid Robux, which to you may sound like fake money, but was real money that I bought the Robux for. And then he got scammed out of it, and he was just devastated and beside himself, and I was like, what is life?
Oh no, we need to go to Fair Go.
No, we need to get the IRL team on the line. Like
That's true. We've got our own.
It's true.
This
Our own internet Fair Go.
That's how they'd like to be branded, I'm sure. Hey, Alex, what's IRL?
Hey. Oh, thank you for asking, Duncan. IRL is a new investigative unit launched by the spin-off under the Public Interest Journalism Fund, taking a look at the intersection between real life and the internet, featuring such superstars of the media, Maddie Holden, Dylan Reeve, the spin-off's Josie Adams, and Shanti Matthias, who interviewed for an intern job but blew us away so much that we gave her a real job. It is launching next week. Stay tuned.
Hey,
Damn.
You know what? I love how much the spin-off loves the intersection between things.
We love
Like
it.
how Bernard Hickey's When the Facts Change is the intersection of politics and economics. And I just love the intersections.
So we should do like a map of like the spin-off intersections and see what kind of world that looks like.
All the train smashes that happen.
And then use it to go on your silly little walk.
Can I have another piece of horror from a silly little walk the other day that I've just remembered. So there were like, on the weekend, there's this kind of party house down the road, like Fladdies, and there were some girls and they had put out a sign that was like, you toot, we drink. And they were like dancing on the thing. And me trying to be like collegial bit of fun was just walking and I'm having like
you didn't.
I'm having a shame at it. And so I looked at the sign and I went, but not loud enough, wearing a mask. Honk. Honk.
How are you only 30?
And no one did anything. And I just had to keep walking. It was horrible. And Joe just like could not look at me. I don't want to go toot. So instead I went for the honk and it just sounded so lecherous and weird.
I love that so much, Alex. Oh my God.
Trying to have fun.
Oh, you're the perfect human being. Okay, not that this isn't quite as exciting. I wish we could have caught that on camera. That would have been an extremely real bit. But in block news, we've kind of done recapping the block because Celebrity Treasure Island started and we reformatted the show, and I'm so sorry if you were like hanging out to hear our inane block recaps. But I watched Sunday night's episode, realised it wasn't even the room reveal, got frustrated by that. Everyone looks like they've got lovely grassy outdoor areas, or fake grassy outdoor areas. And what else? There's some biffo. There's a lot of rach.
It was actually, I watched both episodes and it was really good.
Okay. Look, I'm just trying to justify why we're not doing a full recap here. So
Can I just, before we move on, can I ask a question about the fake grass? Because I know that people like Simone Anderson have that fake grass.
Yeah.
And if you have a pet and that pet does the toilet on it, it doesn't, like, go in to the ground, really, does it? Because it's like
There is
plastic.
drainage.
I would assume that it does. Otherwise, because there's also, as well as animal pee, there's also water from the sky, which happens.
Oh, that's true.
And I assume that there's some facility for it to go through it as opposed to just go up until it's heaven.
But then maybe you get a pool, you know?
I can comment on this. I've got just a tiny section of artificial grass at my house, which is on the south side, so it doesn't get any sun. So I think that's why they've done it. It's just a tiny little bit, and that's where Pickle prefers to poo. And to be honest, it's great to have a place where I know the poo's going to be, and it's easy to pick up from there and just give it a little hose down. So I'm all for it. That's all. That's my 2 cents.
Dylan was vacuuming the grass at one point. I thought that was a bit weird.
Yeah. Dylan's very fastidious.
I definitely think Simone Anderson's vacuuming her grass, for sure.
She kind of like water blasts the poo into like 1,000 pieces.
Oh, really? Just pick it up.
No, I don't know. I might be defaming her. I don't know how she approaches the poo.
But there was some arguing over a fence, which I thought was really interesting, because what I wanted to know is did that invoice that Dan and Meg present to Connie and Rach / Rach and Graham, did that reflect Labour at all?
I don't think it
If it didn't
did.
reflect Labour, then they got a really good deal. If it did reflect Labour, then they got completely ripped off.
I think
they do definitely have the ugly side of the fence.
Yeah, my understanding is that there was some labour done by Dan, which was gratis, but the majority of the labour was done by the tradies and was thus invoiced and therefore part of the splittage.
Right, gotcha. I feel like maybe they were just going to go for materials, which was the first invoice, and then they went, fuck it, we'll put labour on top as well, and that's what the second invoice was. That's my theory. Anyway, tell me what happened, because I didn't watch the next episode.
Timinati won. Actually, I forget who won the best kind of leftover bits of the outdoors. God, it was oblique. Like the just general descriptor of it was just incredibly unsatisfying. But
They called it Landscaping Week.
Yeah, but Timinati by like a half point won the best house overall according to the judges, which was I got quite emotional about, because not just because I know Timinati, but also because they were like, when they first came in, they seemed like kind of idiots. Like the others, you know, they had like a lot of experience and were just kind of professional, and they just seemed like two lovely boys who basically didn't know how to do anything. And by the end, they, you know, as Alex and I also endorsed them as the best house, they just kind of were crushing it. It was just nice to see them get ahead.
That's
And
nice.
they had their disqualification dramas ×2.
At least two.
It's
Oh, yeah, there was the
chaos.
vacuuming and the planting in the middle of the night.
Yeah, that's right. I did like when Adi shattered that. He was like, this is how you put down a tile or whatever, and then was jumping on it and just shattered under his feet. I thought that was really, really good.
That was good. They replayed that about 30 times, but that was
And the best bit
appropriate.
was, like, he admitted at the time, like, he was just doing that for the cameras. Like, it's not like he was
Right.
actually trying to compact the tile. He was just, you know, just doing a funny for the cameras and then shattered a tile. But the bit that you want to watch, if you can be bothered scrolling through, is the wolf throwing health and safety in the skip. He chucks something in the skip and takes bloody Tim's eye out nearly. It bounced, the piece of rubbish bounced off the skip, or it bounced off and then hit Tim just above the eye, which is why he's sporting that bandage.
And it's a brutal cut. Like, have you seen took out like half his forehead. It's been a very bad season for health and safety, and I do think that the block probably has to take some lessons from the fact they've had 3 very serious injuries. Like a concussion is real serious, a broken rib is real serious. That was about an inch away from Tim losing an eye. Like it's quite a rough old season.
Yeah. I don't know what else to say. That's the block nearly done. Auctions are going to happen. Are they going to be online? What's going to happen?
Well, the last thing that we heard was that they're waiting until the appropriate alert level. So it could be that the season wraps and then there's like kind of a wait, unless they
No, that's what they're doing.
It. Yeah,
they announced that at the end of the episode, and like next week was supposed to be the auction, so or maybe even this week. But so we're probably at least a month away from any resolution. But no, it was funny. I was like initially going, "Oh, that's bad," because the production has to hold the cost of these 4 empty houses, which is getting you no income. But then I was like, "Oh no, it's the New Zealand housing market. So an extra month is probably about an extra 2% on $10 million. That's pretty good money. You know, that's a couple $100,000.
Making money.
You know,
yeah. Maybe they caused the lockdown. Maybe that was all part of it. Just holding it off, get some extra.
You're just asking questions.
I am. I'm just doing my research. Okay,
holding power to a candle.
Hey, listen, we're just about at the end of this podcast, which was supposed to be much shorter than it has been. You know, we're still workshopping how this is all going. But I just want to give a shout out to Tara Ward, who has come on board as doing some research for us for this podcast, because we are grown up now. And she actually has something of her own that was one of the best bits on the telly in the last week. She wrote a piece, it was a ranking of politicians holding things up, and it's very funny. And obviously some of those things being held up were on the telly in the last week. Go have a look. It's, I don't know, search for politicians holding things up, ranked and reviewed. It's very, very good, but we have definitely seen some great graphs being held up by politicians during this latest COVID round.
I actually think it's
completely impossible to see. Like, no chance.
The best way to look at it, I reckon, is on Instagram, as kind of rendered by Bianca, our excellent Instagram editor. And yeah, go find the spin-off on Instagram and look at it there. It's just a really good channel right now.
This one is Grant Robertson's Web of Deceit. Is my favourite one from 2013.
It's so good.
Yeah,
like this incredible spider diagram featuring a budgie, an acorn, and some letters of the alphabet with John Key in the middle. It's
really amazing
really
that he's now a super competent finance minister when he looked for all the world like a crank.
Yeah, that looks like QAnon. Like.
Yeah.
I think it's really, I feel like so many people talking about politicians holding things up now is really they're all going to get into it even more than ever. Like, I think you just keep your eye out. There's going to be so many bits of paper held up. It's so funny to me that Jacinda folds hers in half and does like a reveal. And then there's always this like really nasty crease going along the middle of her A3 piece of paper. And when you think about the world's media keeping their eye on New Zealand during these times, have they, like, at their presentations, do they have screens? And we're just holding up. Jacinda's just like, hello. I had to use the A3 function on the printer for this. Just so you know
what she should do to level up, in keeping with the pageantry of it, is like a scroll, you know, and then like drop it down like a town crier.
Do you know what I want to see brought back? Overhead projector. Bring back the overhead projector. How good would that be if she was trying to get it around the right way? Just like it would always be off on a slight angle.
Alex, you don't know what an overhead projector is, do you?
No, I do. I had them at primary school. I was just trying to remember. Was there like a real distinct sound when you turn them on?
It was like a fan whirring.
Real aggro. Because that would be cool.
Hey, that's the end of our podcast. We've got another one dropping really, really soon, so make sure you listen to that. It's going to be our Celebrity Treasure Island recap podcast. If you know literally anyone who's watching the show, which is probably most people, make sure they listen to our recap podcast, not the one that Kimberly Crossman's hosting. Because she's beholden to the franchise, you know? She can't make all these astute observations that we can make as objective viewers. So that's my plug for our silly little podcast. It's just going to be in this feed, okay? Thank you, T.I. here. Thank you, Tara Ward. Thank you, Alex Casey. Thank you, Duncan Grieve.
Thank you, Jane. This has been very sedate.
It's been very long.
So sorry. We'll probably do it again. Bye.
Bye.
Are you curious about how business can be better? I'm Simon Pound, and I host Business is Boring, a podcast where I kōrero with some of the most interesting people in entrepreneurship, commerce, and making things happen. Tune in to Business is Boring every Tuesday, brought to you by the Spin-Off Podcast Network in partnership with Spark Business Lab.
Talofa lava. I'm Madeline Chapman, editor at The Spin-Off. If you have the means, consider supporting our high-quality journalism by becoming a Spin-Off member. Sign up now at thespinoff.co.nz/donate.
The Spin-Off Podcast Network.